Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube weekly segment on doing a different grid-based design every week. This week I'm going to show you how to do a variation of a Greek key design. It's in my book if you're interested, but I'm going to show you right here how to do it. And it's a little harder than previous ones, but once you get the hang of it, it just kind of starts flowing. So come on over to the machine and I'll show you how to do it. Alrighty, let me get on my rubber fingertips here and I will show you. First of all, I have a sample to show you what it looks like. So all of these are Greek keys, but we're going to do the one on the outer border where every other block is left open. So this is the one we're going to do. If you're interested in the ones that touch each other and are more solid, there's a little trick to doing those, and that's all in my book, so you can check it out there. But today I'm going to show you this one. Alright, so this needs to be done on a diagonal grid, and I've done a 1-inch grid just to so it'd be easier for you to see. The one I showed you here, this is a 1/2-inch grid, and it looks really pretty in sashings and borders also, so you can use it there. Alright, so we're going to get started. Something I want to show you, on diagonal grids you always have a little partial square, and those can be a little tricky and confusing, so if you're not sure how to fill that in, just start with a full block first. And I went in, and then you can come and fill that in later, but I went ahead and drew some of this so that so I could get my brain in the rhythm of doing it. I gotta take my shoes off to sew. Alright, so we're gonna start in this corner. And I'm using some pretty green fabric today. Alright, so I'm going to travel all the way up to this block. Alright, now we're going to start our first Greek key. We're going to come down here. Now I'm not going to go all the way to this grid mark, because what's going to happen, I'm going to get that when I come out. So I'm going to come inside of that just by less than 1/4 inch, but about 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to start doing my Greek key design. And this I have marked so I can just follow my mark lines. But when you're doing this without marks, you're going to want to just get in the rhythm. Let me show you something. You'll hear a lot of this term with machine quilting. When you're coming out of an area, divide the space. So whatever space you have, if you can go down the middle of it, it's going to look good. So divide the space there. Now we're going to travel out on our marked grid, and now we're going to go up one grid block. We're not going to do this square here, but we're going to go up to the next grid block. I'm going to travel on those grid lines, except not here. Remember, we're going to go in just a little bit, maybe 3/16 of an inch, through our Greek key design. And I'm leaving room so that when I come out, I have space to, I'm not even following my lines now. I'm just going to divide the space. Whatever space you have, just divide it and your design will look good. Now we get to the edge, we are going to travel on the grid line. We're here, we're going to travel up 2 squares, remember. And this line here is the only one we don't travel on the actual marked grid line. So I'm leaving myself about 1/4 of an inch between these lines so that when I come out, I have about 1/8 of an inch space. So leave yourself 1/4 inch so you can come out and divide the space and have it look nice. Now, we're getting up here. As you'll notice, we've got one of these funky little side triangles, and they are a little challenging. You have to try to envision a partial design. So to keep my brain working well, I'm just going to go down as if I was actually quilting that design. Okay, coming out of it, I'm going to divide the space. Alright, so it may not be perfect, but it's going to fool the eye and look close enough. So now we're going to go up and do our next row. Remember, these squares are going to be left empty. Every other row is going to be left empty in this design. So we need to go, let me think. Here we have a partial one. I'm going to come up here. Sometimes you have to think about where you're going on these. We're going to do a partial square. And this time things are going to be reversed. You got to turn your reverse your brain. But this is the line that we're going to travel up each time. So here I'm not going to travel on that line for my partial square. I'm just going to go in here. Fill this in. Like I said, sometimes these little partial ones aren't perfect, but if they're good enough, they'll fool the eye. Alright, now we're going to come down here and begin our full square. So things will be easier now. So we go up here, 2 blocks, 1 block, 2 blocks. Coming here, and remember we stopped short of that grid line. Coming here, leave ourselves about a 1/4 inch of space to come out on. These things are it's really helpful sometimes to draw these ahead of time. In my book, I've left practice pages in the back of the book to practice these designs on, and that always helps to get your brain wrapped around it. It's just like when you learn to handwrite in 1st grade or 2nd grade. When you follow the lines, and pretty soon you learn how to make beautiful cursive letters. Let's see. So you want to keep these points squared off. Do you notice how those Greek key, the corners are square? You don't want them rounded. You want to think of a true Greek key design. See, when you come here to this point, I'm touching the point of the Greek key below it. So keeping those corners sharp and square is really important. This is another one. Well, I just kind of think all of these designs are hypnotic, but once you get your rhythm going, it's a lot of fun. Alright, so here we are on a one of those corner triangles, and they're not so fun, but we're going to tackle it anyway. They get easier as you do them. You'll notice I didn't do that line there. I'm going to, well, we need to come back later and do it. I'm not going to do it right now. I want to keep going while we have our good rhythm going on this. Alright, so, let's see. We need to look at this. We're not going to do this square here, but we're going to do every other one. So I'm going to go ahead and not do the funny triangle on the end. I'm going to travel up here. Over here. Now remember, we're going to stop short of that line in this one, because we'll travel out on those lines. I'm touching that point of that other block below it, below this one. I find that these get a lot better after you've done a few of them. Oops. Alright, we just have one more row to do. So remember, we get over here, we're going to travel up 2 rows. I'm going to, I think I'll come back later and do that little triangle. Like I said, when things are confusing, just do a full block and come back to the others later. Leaving about a 1/4 inch to come out on. Alright, I'm not going to do the little triangles right now. I did show you how to do some of those, so we're just going to look at the back of our design and see how pretty it turned out. Alright, let's have a look. So there it is, the Greek key variation in which every other little block is left open. It's a beautiful design, and once you get the hang of it, it's not too hard. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed week 4, and join me next week for week 5, and we'll do another fun grid-based quilting design. And don't forget to visit my website, quintessentialquilting.com. Thanks a lot. Bye now.